We are in Nairobi and Kisumu. In Nairobi, the project is being implemented include Kibera Informal Settlement, Mathare, Huruma and Mukuru, while in Kisumu the project is implemented in Kondele and Nyalenda. We all know that when young people are idle, the chances of them participating in violent activities is high. The goal of the project is just to strengthen civil society organizations to ensure that they are engaging in meaningful development and creating safe spaces within the communities for young people. The main outcomes of the program are three:
decent income, participatory governance, safety in the community, and safe public transport. So the project was started in 2018.
It's also implemented by a consortium of 9 partners. In Nairobi, in Mathare, we have Generation Shapers. In Huruma, we have Maria Rosana. In Kibera, we have Kibera Joy Initiative and Undugu Family Society.
We have Talanta Africa doing safe public transport in Kondele, UDS doing safe public transport in Nyalenda. We have TEAM, that is Transform Empowerment Action Initiative, that does participatory governance in both the wards. They are working under Uraia Trust. Then we have Slum Dwellers International, who are leading in terms of doing safety in the community and safe, decent income aspects.
Where we are trying to ensure that young people have access to decent work and by extension decent income in both Nairobi and Kisumu.
They're supposed to be able to do contributions, savings,
entrepreneurial skills, how they can start and run small businesses.
We have been taking place in sensitizing the operators on the safety in public transport, having the dialogue with operators, having the dialogue with the users within the community. So mostly we have been discussing something on gender-based violence in the safety in public transport.
There was no respect for women and girls, and there was a lot of violation.
A lot of crime was being perpetrated and executed in the public sector. It was not safe for kids, women and youth at a whole to access public transport without having access to any kind of crime.
Most of the school pupils were being sexually harassed, even molested while on their way traveling to school. Sometimes you could find they were being overloaded and being harassed while boarding the matatus to school and from school.
There was this sex for pants going on a lot within the informal settlements.
There was a high rate of teenage pregnancy because even here in the office, parents could come report.
People for a long time do not talk about it, like we've normalized them for quite a long period. That, for example, aspects of catcalling, indecent touch, insults, they are part and parcel of SGBV. Our work largely is to really bridge that gap between operators of public transport, consumers of public transport, and friends of the transporter, so that we can have concerted efforts in terms of making the public transport space be much more inclusive, accommodative, and responsive to the different provisions of rights.
There has been a unique activity that the young people have been using to create awareness. That's called the Chalk Talk, giving young girls an opportunity because they are the ones that are mostly affected with harassment within the community.
Ilikuwa ina engage everyone. Yani tunajua kwa meeting hatuwezi meet kila mtu, but hiyo ilikuwa ina include everyone. Kila mtu alikuwa anaandika kitu imekuwa ikimhurt venye wanakuwa harassed. Plan iliweza kuandika vitu zenye wasichana wanapitia huku nje kwa public transport.
And that elicits a discussion because in that activity where they are writing down, transport operators, mostly the border riders who are accused of being the perpetrators, are also present. So it elicits a discussion between the two parties, and at the end of it all, they come to appreciate that they each have a role to play to ensure that there is safety within the public transport.
Those girls have been told to speak out. Plan International have been advertising everywhere through the radio stations, through vernacular radio stations, the badges, the graphics, the bands, wristbands.
Where we've been engaging these young people, we take them through trainings, the dynamics of crime, understanding what safety is, analyzing what safety is, mapping out the hotspot areas. We've also held community dialogues because for you to do an activity, for it to make sense to the community and to the youths, you have to hold a dialogue so that you understand what are the problems and the challenges that these youths go through.
We find that the target group of the project, 15 to 25, most are school going. The government policies in the education ministry do not allow non-school activities in school or during school period. We had to meet with the children either during holidays or school breaks or even weekends to plan and meet the target group.
And one of the major activities that we're supposed to have done as an organization is to train them on civic education. civic education on matters to do with human rights, matters to do with good governance, and how they could meaningfully engage with the county and national government to ensure that their issues are heard.
First of all, they have to identify a safety and security issue within their area that they want to be addressed. Then after the training, they have to come up with a civic action. So this civic action is then supposed to be shared by the relevant duty bearers to ensure that the safety and security issue is addressed.
When the county announces the budget forums, they go and articulate their issues so that it's included there in the county budgets, which is a plus because that was not happening when the project was starting.
Even at the consumers level, we had a lot of negative reception because they were like, they know it's the norm. These people will not change. Even if we sit down and talk, they'll never change. But gradually we've tried to create partnership. And one of them is even somebody we work closely with, and is even an ambassador who are one of the diehards of like perpetration. You couldn't really engage, but now for them to really accept to come to this other side was a very big win for us.
We had youth in various components. So these ones, we've taken them as youth ambassadors for the various components, and they're the ones who we have given the knowledge and skills in terms of all the project components. You'll find we have youth ambassadors in safe transport. You'll find that they're also in safe communities. When it comes to participatory governance, you'll find small groups on social accountability, budget facilitators. Practices such as savings have also been improved. Also in terms of participation at the public participation barazas, and the ideas are also being taken up for development processes.
Through public participations, the youth of this community came up with the idea of the chief having an office, and from there is when the CDF came in and constructed an office.
As a budget champion, we were taught on how best we would see the budgets, like the budget cycle, the budget process, and also involve the community members through the process. Through the interface meeting, we met the local leaders. We managed to secure, and the office of the assistant chief was built.
The issue of street lighting, where the young people have petitioned their ward admins, and they have gone ahead and just ensured that the issues they raised, that there's no safety in an area because of the street lights. Then there have been the issue of enhanced police patrol, specifically in an area like Huruma. It came out as a civic action, and the young people followed up, petitioned, and yes, there was increased patrol.
We've started building a legacy. We will be consistent, even in now having forums, working together. Because now, once this community now was brought closer by the 7 inclusive cities, now it is for us now to see to it that the action plan now does not stop there. We will continue engaging the public.
So right now we can even have public transport operators who are ambassadors reporting cases and really holding their counterparts accountable for the crime that they've committed.
They know their right as young girls, and they can't allow these pikipiki and boda operators to abuse them. They report. There is a toll-free number introduced by United Destiny Shepherds. To me, the future is bright.
Naweza kuambia community ili to embrace. Community ilikataa authority ione vijana wa Nduthi kama watu wabaya. Ilisema these are our sons, lazima tu embrace, unaona?
Bado mimi ndaendelea kuinvolve customers wangu na conversations about drivers, vile tumejaribu kuchange tabia zetu na heshima zetu kwa wateja. Pili, wase wangu wa stage ndajaribu encourage, maybe kama unaga kitu yote yenye inaweza fanya ukuwe safe kwa barabara, tuseme kitu ka driving license, helmets, reflectors. Ndajaribu involve mabeshe zangu wenye pia kwa motorbikes, wachukue hizo cause pia it's part of safety yako ukiwa kwa barabara.
All the safety problems that they are facing, the answers they have it by themselves. It's just for us to come up with ways in which they can effectively solve these challenges for sustainability purposes.
We are based within the community, and I want to really appreciate Plan International for the approach they gave this program for working with a community-based organization. That brings the sustainability part of it. We are from the community. The users are from the community. Operators also from the community. We will continue doing this program with them, calling the users, calling the operators, and we discuss the way forward.
The notion that young people don't have the ability to create change is just a wrong one. Young people are actually the people that can drive change now. This is evident because all the successes within the Safe and Inclusive Cities project has been achieved courtesy of the young people that we are working with.